They entered my house with a paper. And now, I have 12 hours. If you think your home is safe, think again. In 12 hours, I could lose everything. And what happened to me could happen to you. This is a horror story that became my reality, and I need you to hear every word, because your home could be the next target. The countdown has begun, and with each second, hope diminishes. Are you ready for the truth? I'm Daniel. This isn't just any story. It's how the HOA, which was supposed to protect, became the biggest threat to my family. Did you know that over 60% of HOA disputes in the US escalate to lawsuits or property loss? I was just another number in that dark statistic. But not for long. I refused to be a silent victim. I'm going to show you exactly how they tried to destroy me, every dirty tactic, every low blow. You'll learn how to identify signs of an abusive HOA before it's too late to react. The secret tactics they use to corner you and take everything from you. And most importantly, how to fight and win, even when everything seems lost and hope fades away. Stay with me until the end. What I'm about to reveal could save your home, your peace of mind, and your family's future. If you've ever had problems with an HOA, or know someone who has, comment now. Your experience could be the light someone needs. It all started with something ridiculous, so trivial it's unbelievable. My grass. Yes, my grass. 1 centimeter longer than allowed by the HOA's draconian regulations. I received the first fine. $500. I laughed, I'll admit. I thought it was an administrative error, a bad joke. Little did I know that piece of paper was the first step in a meticulous and cruel plan to take everything I had. I tried to resolve it, of course. I called the HOA tirelessly, sent detailed emails, went to their headquarters in person. But they were an impenetrable fortress of bureaucracy, disdain, and indifference. The $500 fine became $1,000, then $2,000. Abusive interest, hidden fees, fines on top of fines. They were bleeding me financially, drop by drop. And I couldn't do anything. The feeling of helplessness was overwhelming. And then, the bomb. A registered letter, heavy, with the HOA seal. I opened it, and my face went pale. It was a foreclosure notice. 4 tall grass. They were trying to take my house. My house. Where my children grew up, where I built my life, where every memory was carved into the walls. For a fine I couldn't even discuss. Rage consumed me, a blind fury. But rage, I would learn, was just the beginning of a long and arduous battle. From that day on, the HOA intensified their tactics. It wasn't about the grass anymore. It was about power, about absolute control. They wanted to make an example of me, show all residents who really ruled the community. They started watching me. HOA cars passed by my street every hour, stopping in front of my house, taking pictures, noting every detail. I felt like a criminal, an outcast in my own neighborhood, under constant scrutiny. Daily fines. For anything. A toy forgotten in the yard. A flower that wasn't in the color standard they approved. They looked for any excuse to punish me, to suffocate me financially, to drain me emotionally. It was relentless persecution. A psychological torture that affected everyone. My family felt the weight of this oppression. My children were afraid to play in the yard, to be seen. My wife was constantly worried, her gaze fixed on the window. I tried to mobilize the community. After all, I wasn't the only one suffering. But fear was palpable. Many neighbors, though sympathetic in private, were afraid to speak out publicly. They feared HOA retaliation, feared becoming the next target. I understood. Nobody wanted to be next. I was alone in this battle, or so I thought. The night that everything changed. I was sleeping, dreaming of a normal life, without the HOA's shadow. Suddenly, a loud noise at the front door. A crash that woke me abruptly. My front door. Broken down. My heart raced, a drum in my ribcage. I thought they were burglars, the worst possible scenario. But what I saw was much worse. I went downstairs, fear freezing my veins. There they were. HOA members, led by an imposing figure, Miss Albright, with her cold and calculating smile. And with her, a team of private security, going through my things, invading my privacy, my sanctuary. They had a warrant. A warrant obtained dubiously, claiming serious violations and a quote threat to community safety unquote. It was a farce. A cheap excuse to intimidate me, to humiliate me. Miss Albright turned to me, holding the document, and spoke with a calm but threatening voice. Mr. Johnson, as you can see, the Homeowners Association's patience has run out. Your continuous violations and refusal to cooperate have led us to take drastic measures. This is a final warning. You have 12 hours. 12 hours to vacate the property. Otherwise, we will take possession. And everything inside will be considered HOA property to cover your debts. 12 hours. The phrase echoed in my head, a hammering sound. It was an ultimatum. A death sentence for my life as I knew it. I tried to argue, explain, plead. But they wouldn't listen. The security guards pushed me, preventing me from approaching my own family, who were terrified upstairs. They were kicking me out of my own home, the place I loved most. The first hours were pure desperation. I called everyone I knew. Lawyers, friends, even the police. But the answer was always the same, an echo of indifference. It's a civil matter, Mr. Johnson. The HOA has the right to do this if you violated the contract. Nobody seemed to understand the gravity of the situation. Nobody seemed to care. I was alone against a giant, a relentless bureaucratic machine. But I don't give up. With each no, my determination grew. I started researching. I dove into laws, HOA statutes, similar cases, looking for any loophole, any hope. And that's when I found a community. An online forum of people who, like me, were victims of tyrannical HOAs. There, I found hope. I found success stories of people who won. And I found a crucial tip, the media. I had to expose the truth. I had to show the world what the HOA was doing, the injustice they perpetrated. I started recording. Every detail. The broken door, the eviction notices, the veiled threats. I spoke directly to the camera, with all my anger, all my frustration, all my pain. I wasn't a YouTuber, but I would become one. At least for 12 hours. But they were one step ahead. The internet was cut. The landline, silent. They wanted to isolate me, prevent me from asking for help, from crying for rescue. But they underestimated my determination. I had a plan B, and a plan C, and a plan D. I would not be silenced. With a laptop and portable modem, I went to the nearest cafe, each step a race against time. I posted everything. On all social media. I tagged news outlets, influencers, anyone who could give voice to my story. I knew it was a shot in the dark, a minimal chance. But it was my only chance. Hours dragged on, each minute an eternity. I was exhausted, but adrenaline kept me standing. The clock showed 8 hours remaining. And then, the miracle. My phone rang. It was a journalist. He had seen my videos. My story had gone viral. Within minutes, my street became a media circus. News cars, cameras, microphones. The story of the tyrannical HOA and the oppressed resident was on every newscast, every headline. The HOA, which once acted in the shadows, was now under the spotlight, exposed for the world to see. They were in panic. Miss Albright, who was so arrogant before, was now hiding, avoiding the cameras. And then, she arrived. A civil rights attorney, Dr. Ramirez. She introduced herself. Mr. Johnson, my name is Dr. Ramirez. I'm a civil rights attorney. Your story is an outrage. And I'm here to help. For free. The HOA can't do this. They violated numerous laws. And we're going to make them pay. Dr. Ramirez was an angel. She arrived like a hurricane, with legal documents and unwavering determination. She confronted Miss Albright, exposing her illegal tactics. The HOA had no more power. They were cornered. The media was recording every second. Justice was finally coming, and I could feel it. They didn't stop. After failing to isolate me from the internet, they tried to suffocate me in another way, more cruel. I received notifications for water and electricity cut off. False ones. I had all bills paid, everything up to date. It was another tactic to force me out, to drain me. They were using the scarcity of basic resources to pressure me, to break me. They were going deeper and deeper into illegality. The utility companies informed me that the HOA had presented quote legal unquote documents for the cutoff, forged documents. It was a large-scale conspiracy. They were willing to do anything to get me out of my house, to destroy me. The urgency was palpable. I had to act fast, before my family was left without the basics, without water, without electricity. I had to escalate. Social media was a start, but I needed more. I needed a bigger platform, a megaphone for my voice. I decided to go on a local TV show. It was an enormous risk. My personal life would be exposed to millions. But I had no choice. It was my last card, the last bullet in the chamber. I was desperate, but determined to win. The TV show was my chance. The chance to expose the truth to thousands, millions of people. I told everything. From the grass fine to the invasion of my house and the threats to cut services. With each word, the public's indignation grew, palpable, visible on social media. They showed my evidence. The invasion videos, the threat letters, the cut-off notifications. The social proof was overwhelming. Social media exploded. Thousands of people sharing, commenting, expressing their anger against the HOA. Public opinion was on my side, an army of support. And then, the moment everyone was waiting for. Miss Albright, HOA president, was called live to respond to the accusations. She tried to defend herself, but her lies were transparent. She contradicted herself, stammered, sweated coldly. The mask fell. The world saw the true face of the HOA, the cruelty and illegality behind the facade of quote community guardians unquote. It was a moment of pure catharsis, of justice being done in real time. In the TV studio, Miss Albright, visibly shaken, tried to argue with Dr. Ramirez. But Dr. Ramirez, with her loud and clear voice, pointed to the eviction warrant, revealing a crucial legal flaw. This warrant is invalid. The HOA didn't follow due legal process. Clause 7.3 of the Community Statute requires a prior hearing with the owner before any eviction action. A hearing that never happened. You acted illegally. And now, the law is on Mr. Johnson's side. Miss Albright and her security retreated, humiliated, while the police, who were watching the program, arrived at my house to ensure safety and direct the HOA to withdraw. My family and I hugged, tears of relief flowing. The clock showed 000001. The clock stopped. Just 1 second before the end. They were gone. My house was safe. My family was safe. Truth, justice, and community. They won. I didn't lose everything. I won. I got my house back. I got my peace back. And I got a voice for millions. It was the sweetest victory of my life. My story spread like wildfire. I received support messages from all over the world. People sharing their own experiences with abusive HOAs, finding strength in my fight. My grass was still a little tall, but now it was a symbol of freedom, not violation. My neighbors, once fearful, now came to greet me, thank me for having the courage to fight. The community united, stronger than ever. Dr. Ramirez and I didn't stop there. Together, with other brave residents, we formed a property owners' rights defense group. We started working to change laws, to ensure no other family would have to go through what we went through. My fight became the fight of many. And together, we were making a difference, building a more just future. I started this video with fear, with desperation. But I end it with hope, with victory. The HOA invaded, gave me 12 hours. But they didn't count on the strength of truth, on the power of community. If you're going through something similar, don't give up. Fight. Expose the truth. You are not alone. And justice, no matter how long it takes, always prevails. You saw the enemy. You felt the fear. You witnessed the victory. Now, ACT. If every fiber of your being resonates with this story, if injustice burns inside, if you believe no family should go through this, then don't be a spectator. Be the change. Click like now, and show you're on the side of justice. Comment #myhomemycastle, share your own story or just your indignation. Subscribe to this channel, because this fight is beginning, and you won't want to miss the next chapter. And share this video with every person you know, because ignorance is tyranny's greatest ally. What you do in the next seconds defines the future. Will you let the HOA win? Or will you join us and build a legacy of freedom? The choice is yours. The time is now. This was my story. A story of horror, but also of triumph. May it serve as inspiration for all who face tyranny. The fight continues. And truth always finds its way. Until next time. Want to know how the HOA tried to silence me after this video went viral? Don't miss the HOA's revenge. They wanted to destroy me, but I had an ace up my sleeve.